Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the TagoIO webinar series 2025. We got a good one for you today. Deploying portals and mobile apps for IoT solutions. But before I go any further, again, welcome everybody. You'll notice there is a chat on the far right. Oh, I already see we have somebody from India that's joined. I'm David Hall, by the way. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, so I was just curious where everybody was at, where you're from. I also have a link up at the top on the sticky note for our LinkedIn, where you can go there and follow Tago. We post some really great stuff. It's news, it's updates on what's going on with the company, it's new features coming out, lots of different things. So please follow us there. At the end of the webinar, I'm going to show you a couple things on our website. You could follow us, or you could sign up for our newsletter, but I have some cool things to really help you get jump-started and inspired on TagoIO. But today, let's just move forward here quickly. Again, as I said, I'm David Hall, Customer Success Manager here at TagoIO. I cover United States and Canada mostly. I mean, we have customers in over 120 countries. We've been in business over 10 years, so we've had a long time to build the platform. My partner, Claus, is here today. He is a lead software developer here at Tago. Tons of experience. He's been with Tago for a very long time, so I'm great to have Claus here. He'll be giving you a live demo later, as you'll see in the agenda. So today we're going to talk about what can you expect, right? What is Tago Run? I get a lot of questions as a customer success manager of what is Tago Run? And then even people are existing customers that know Tago Run. They lack some of the knowledge just because there's so much to Tago, right? There's so much to Tago. Tago Run is just one component, but there's so much you can do with Tago Run and your dashboards to really make your end user experience much more enjoyable, right? We're going to be going over customizing your run, be talking about some of those things that you can do to really wow your customers, right? Integrations, we'll have that. There's Mark from Texas. I see. Welcome, Mark. We're going to talk about integrations I mentioned. We'll have a live demo. We have a portion for Q&A, but honestly, if you just post your questions in chat as we're going, we'll try to answer those in real time. If we don't get to them, we'll save some time at the end. But feel free to post questions at any time, right? So basically, what can you expect, right? With Tago Run, what you're looking at here, it's pretty basic. Yeah, it's a cool picture in the background. You'll see the sign-in page. There's a link to sign up. Forgot your password. Pretty basic stuff. You see, you could have where it says my company. You could have your logo. We'll get into those, but this looks pretty basic, right? And I'm just going to show you some very basic things in these next slides. Most of this webinar is really about the live demo, right? But you notice the difference here. Now, with a little bit of transparency, you can kind of see through the sign-up page. You could see the image a little more in the background. You have a blue sign-in button. And then if we just go one step further, now, you've changed it to green. So you could change color. There's a lot you could do with Tago Run, right? It's very easy to set up Tago Run. And keep in mind, each profile has its own Tago Run. So you have your admin account, right? And then you have profiles within your admin account. One profile you might be using for, company A, for their requirements. You're building something out for them. And then you might have another profile for company B. They both have their own independent Tago Run. So you could have different user experiences for different customers. Right. I see we have somebody from Switzerland, Italy. Welcome, welcome. I love seeing our customers from all over the world join. So what is Tago Run? The best way to describe Tago Run is your end user experience, right? This is where your end users are going to come. They're going to interact with your dashboard, and you really want it to look good and stand out, right? Yes, you can create a very basic Tago Run, but why not make it stand out, right? When you can, at no extra charge. That's the nice thing about it. So it's a way you can deploy your IoT solutions to the world. Again, your end user experience, right? You have more control over end users' access. That's a wide topic, right? But one example of that, right, is I might be a general manager of 5 restaurants, right? And within my Tago run, when I log in as a general manager, I can see all 5 of my restaurants, right? But I have a manager for each one of those restaurants, and they will only see their restaurant hierarchy, user permission hierarchy, right? And then the employees of that restaurant, maybe they can just view where my manager can add sensors or whatever you've done to interact with them from a dashboard standpoint, sending downlinks. There's lots of different things. Turn off a valve, turn off a machine, get alerts for thresholds that you've set, temperature too high, too low, humidity, something's moving, asset tracking, whatever it is, right? It's wide open. And you can do branding management as well at no extra charge, and I'll explain a little bit of that. So customizing your run. Some of the basic things are theme colors, your company logo. I already mentioned sign in and sign up pages, custom domain, and I'll show you a little bit of that in the coming up slides. End user agreements, terms and conditions. We have out of the box email templates, but you can create your own email templates. Maybe when somebody goes to sign up, you send them a really nice email with a cool background. There's a lot of different. This is just a few high level things that you can do with Tago Run. But again, it's all about your end user experience and customizing your run, right? And you want customers to log into Tago Run because you don't want them in your admin account where you're building your dashboards and things like that, because things can break. It's fragile, right? So you want them to have the best experience with Tago Run. And again, as I said, you identify what permissions they have within Tago Run or your dashboard, right? You do that when you're developing in your Tago admin account. So custom domain, I mentioned this a little bit. You could see here in the image your URL domain where it says master app. You could put in your company name there, and it's going to say the link is going to have .tago run, right? And then you have your email domain that you could change that as well. The nice thing about this, of course, you can remove all instances of Tago in general for your end user application by white label. There is a fee for white label, but I would say probably 40% of our customers, if not a little more, definitely use white label. But there's a lot you can do here just within your account today at no extra charge. So customizing your sign-up page. One thing I see a lot of customers do is, so if I'm the end user, I come to in this image that's on the laptop there, I come in here, that's a pretty cool image in the background, right? It's transparent, some cool colors and things like that. But I see a lot of customers, I actually do this myself for my Tago Run, I put a video in the background, a really nice video of, and for me, it was asset tracking. I found a really cool video that I was able to get permission to use, and I put it on there. So when they came there, it's not just a still image, right? It's a video in the background where things are actually moving. Pretty cool stuff that you can do there with that. And multi-language. So a lot of customers, in my opinion, when I speak to them, they don't take advantage of multi-language. Either they don't know it's there, because again, Tago's been around 10 years. So there's a lot of features and things that we built on the platform over time. So our platform is very well developed and mature, right, which is great for you guys. Now, when you're using the multi-language, you get 4 out of the gate, right, with your starter account, but you can go to the scale plan and you could add more dictionaries as you go, right? So it's a really powerful tool and it's very easy to use. And once I show customers this, they're amazed by it. They haven't realized that they had this power within their Tago Run application. So it's really great feature to use in that aspect. So integrations, we integrate. I've been here 4 years, right? Claus beats me by years that he's going to be coming up here soon to do a live demo for you. But we've integrated with everything that you see here: Google Analytics, 2FA, SSO, right? Zoho, but it even goes beyond that, right? I have customers right now that I'm currently working with where we've integrated with a payment system. We've integrated with a call center, right? So we can integrate just about with anybody. And again, over my years of here, I haven't seen any integration that we haven't been able to do, right? So when you think of Tago, this is a good point to bring this up, actually. When you think of Tago, not just Tago Run, and Tago in general, what I like to say is the one word that describes Tago is customization, right? You can customize your dashboard, your Tago Run, everything yourself by taking our learning center, which I'll show you. I think it's important. I'll show you at the end of this presentation. But there's a lot that you can do within Tago, right? So to me, it's customization. And you don't have to come to us for professional services, right? Because you could build it yourself. That is the differentiator, in my opinion, that makes Tago stand out. Because you can have changing requirements over time, which everybody does, right? Well, with our customization and with your knowledge on the Tago platform, you can meet those changing requirements without incurring more cost from a professional services standpoint. Don't get me wrong. A lot of customers use us for professional services. That's anything from a bucket of consulting hours to they want us to build an end-to-end application. We do quite a bit of professional services. We're very busy in that area as well. Now, before we go to live practice, a couple things we're going to talk about is Tago Run Showcase, using dictionary, custom domain add-on, terms and condition. But make sure you ask any questions that you have. I'm also going to post a link here in a minute once I pass it off to Claus, where you can ask for a demo. And that one-on-one demo can be with me. If you're in Brazil, it'll be with our CSM in Brazil. If you're in Mexico, it'll be with our CSM that covers that area, and so on and so forth. So make sure you ask for a demo if you want to learn more, because there's no way, again, 10 years in business, even if I sat here for 3 hours, I wouldn't be able to show you everything. So I think a one-on-one demo is a great way to get you guys started with Tago. And if you're already a customer, you should be taking advantage of your onboarding sessions, right? So you get a free 45-minute onboarding session with a CSM and a developer. In most cases, people use those onboarding sessions to where maybe they have a technical issue that they're just can't get over, or they just want general in-depth information, right? So take advantage of those, right? And when your CSM reaches out to you, respond to them, because I like to think of my job as I am everything Tago, right? I can make things happen for you within Tago, right? So take advantage of your CSM. It's very, very important that you do that. And for anybody that's joined a little late, I have our LinkedIn link at the top. Make sure you go follow us. Again, great updates, and we're always posting there new features and just general updates, events that we're attending. Like I'll be in Chicago on March 18th, 17th to the 20th it is, at ProMat. So I go to quite a few shows. Our CEO goes to quite a few shows. He's very active in the events that we have and things like that. So follow us and check it out. Lots of good stuff there. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Claus for the live demonstration. Then I'll come back and show you a few things once Claus has shown you some really cool features about Tago Run. So with Claus.
Thanks, David. Hey, everyone. I'm Klaus. We'll be here doing the live demonstration for a lot of the Run features. I'll be sharing my screen soon. But first of all, I would like to say that we have a lot of content on our YouTube channel. We have our learning center that we cover these topics in more detail. If you need to understand better how to develop your own custom widgets, for instance, we had a training last week, and we will have more trainings in the future as well. But we have our learning center too. But keep that in mind. And feel free to ask questions. I will be looking at the chats for questions, because I will be showcasing a lot of these features and how they fit together. As a developer in TagoIO, I work on a lot of these features. So if you have suggestions, feedback, and if you want to just ask general questions, so how do I do this? We can probably answer some of these questions as well here. Hopefully, I will cover a lot of ground. I will be showing a lot of things like we see on the screen. This is why I'm not sharing it yet, because you see like 4 items there in the list, and it seems like very simple, but there's a lot of power in the customizability that we offer. So we will see how you can not only just change the theme, but set up the custom domain add-on, and also to use dictionary for multiple language. I will not be showing the app today, like live, but we have a companion app for Android and iOS that you can use. It's free for access, but we also have the custom mobile add-on that you can have your own app. So if you don't want to use our own branded app, you can use the custom label add-on to have your own. So you can integrate with the platform and your custom domains, and everything fits together. So without further ado, I will be sharing my screen. Let me know if there are any issues, please, David. So, well, in Webinar Jam, it seems fine.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, so thanks, David. So I will be showing this demo application today. It's under a custom domain. I will be showing how, the difference between the custom domain and the regular domain one, because we have our built-in domain, which is, if you're getting started with TagoIO, you'll probably be familiar with this. Yeah, just a sec. David, my camera seems to be freezing, so should I just stop it?
Yeah, you can go ahead and turn it off.
Yeah, I'll be turning my camera off today. My computer is having some camera issues, apparently. So sorry about that. So for the demonstration, I will be showing this application, which is customized with a theme, but I will be following steps today. I will not be doing just the slide presentation. Today, I will be showing how to customize this entirely, because we have a lot of things here that you cannot see, because at first glance, you can see that there's a logo, which is fairly simple. There's a form, which is the default form, but we can customize a lot of this. So, and just so you know, the default screen that you see here, I'm sorry, David. So it seemed that my screen share froze now. Are you seeing admin?
I'm seeing demo time, your sign-in page.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I will be resharing the screen.
That's fine. We're laid back here. Technical difficulties. We've all experienced them.
Yeah.
No problem.
Let's just see if this changes. Oh, it seems to be changing now. I guess my turning off the camera broke it. But so I was showing this screen because it's like the application that we'll be showcasing today. But if you're not aware, you have this domain here. It's customizable, I believe, in the starter plan forward. So in the starter and the scale plan, you can customize this domain. By default, it's your profile ID .tago.run, which your users will be assessing your application. You can see in this domain tab in the run button, because if you're not familiar with TagoIO, again, we have a lot of material covering this, but admin is where you develop your application, develop your dashboards, integrate your devices, send data, develop your scripts, and also set up access policies to restrict access to certain stuff. So when you set everything up on admin, you get your portal in Tago Run, which by default has a URL under our domain here, .tago.run. This one is customized to be accessible on demotime.tago.run. Okay. But the one I'll be showing today is under my domain, because I customized it with the custom domain add-on, just showcasing here how you can basically white label your application in practical terms. So, but well, that's for this part of the presentation. That's it. I will be showing how to customize and where do we get started, because If you create your profile, your account on TagoIO, and you create your dashboard, integrate some devices, or use a simple simulator, to deploy your run, you just have to come here in the run button and press save. You will be presented with this deployment section here. And once it's activated for the first time, you will be able to access the link shown here below. So that's all you need to do to have your run accessible. To have dashboards show up there, you have to set up policies. I will not be covering this, but if you have questions, feel free to ask me in the end of the presentation. But we have a lot of documentation on that. So what's our goal here? Our goal here is to have our dashboard, like this one, show in this run application, right? So I have my run application set up with a custom domain, and I want this. And I want to customize the colors, and I want it to have support for multiple languages. Like David mentioned before, some of these features are available as add-ons, like the custom domain and the custom mobile app. But bear in mind that when I say custom mobile app, I mean a fully customized white labeled app and not the default app that you can get in the store today. If you want to access, I could access my application here using the app that is available in the store. But if I wanted my own app with my logo, my branding, my colors, I would have to purchase the custom add-on and set it up, which is very simple. But today our goal is to show you how to get to that point. If you see this screen here, it's the admin. I'm on this profile, alt development, and I have a ton of dashboards. But this is because it's a development profile. I use it to work in TagoIO features, so there's a lot of dashboards here. But if you look at my run application here, I'm only seeing one. That's because I have filtered it to only show the dashboards that I want to be available here. Because at some point you will be developing new dashboards, new versions of your dashboards, or improving your dashboards, so you can just replace dashboards on the fly. Let's say that I want to build another version of the same dashboard. I could just create one and just make it not visible for my users through access management policies. So I will show you how this policy is set up, just in case, just for the sake of completion here. So this is my policy. I'm setting it up for my run users with the tag type user. So that would mean in practical terms that regular users, so I could have a different policy for users that are admins to see different dashboards, but this one is for regular users. And they will see the dashboards that have the same tag, okay? You can have a different one that's tag match. This is covered in our documentation as well, but if I wanted for it to be just to match the same tag, so to have this one tag here, I could just do it through tag matching. So, but I will not be doing this right now. It's easier to see it like this for me to reason about in this presentation. So you can see that the run user that is a regular user and not an admin, for instance, it's a regular user. It has access to dashboards, devices, and users is for a specific feature, which is the user list widget. But this kind of user has access to the resources that have the access tag set to user. So this is how I basically control the access and what this user can see and interact with in the run application. So in this case, the only dashboard that is available to regular users in my application is the freezer simulator dashboard. But an admin user could see different dashboards here, and I'll be showcasing other features that also benefit from policies as well. Like you can have different tabs in a dashboard that are only visible to certain users, and I can show that as well. But since we have this first step down, which is basically, so to recap this first part really quick. So I create my profile, I set up some devices, I create a dashboard. Don't be scared about this section. think of it like I just have this. Basically, I could have my dashboard, only one dashboard set up, and it's this one. And I have my run. I published it by clicking on save here in the run section, and I set up a policy. And well, manually, I have created my user here. I have an anonymous user, which I will also be showing today. But I have my user here that is my default user, which is this one that I'm accessing here, the application through. Okay. So basically, this is the basics for the run, right? We have my dashboard, which is this on admin, which is where I will be editing the dashboard. This is the interface that we see, the blue bar here currently. We see the differences between these two, right? So on admin, I don't have control of this interface, but on Tago Run, I can customize the colors and everything here, which again, I will be showing. But I have a dashboard and I have a user that can access it. And I have the user seeing through the policies. It's possible to see the data from this device. It's visible here. So we'll be moving forward with the run part of this presentation, right? Because we have a lot of features in run specifically. So let's just keep in mind that we have this dashboard. We could have more. We could have different dashboards. I will be showing some features that will require me to create different dashboards, but mostly I will be talking about the configuration in the run page. So here, I'll be covering the basics. I will not be reading every single configuration setting, but I will be highlighting the important ones and how do you use it. So for this main configuration tab, which by tab I mean here, and we also have different tabs here, but pay attention to my mouse and what I'm saying. And if you have questions or get lost, please just ask in the chat. So in this page here, we can see the preview for the different interfaces for you to preview how the application that you're developing will look in different platforms, right? So we have a desktop or a laptop, right? We have a tablet and we have the mobile. Here it's showing the screen that you basically will get even through access on the browser app on your phone, or when you access through the Tago Run app, it will be very, very similar. So it's basically what you have. And these previews are mostly for you to see the text and the colors. They are not interactive, but they reflect some of the changes that you do. So if I change some text here, it will show up there the different text that I'm putting here. Like, let's say like QWERTY here, it's just, you can preview without having to publish, because some of these changes you may need to preview before publishing. But you can also have different profiles if you want to have a development run application as well. But for these main parts of the run configuration, basically we have some settings that are text and icons and logo, which is basically the main configuration. Just the things that you will most likely want to change as soon as possible to avoid having placeholder text, right? You want to put the name of your application, you want to describe what it does and the subtitle, and you want your logo here, right? That's basically the main configuration. So for the domain parts, I will be bringing back the other run application. This is a different profile, keep that in mind, but this is the default domain that you have access in all plans, unless you set up the custom domain add-on. If you do set up the custom domain add-on, the screen will be a little different, which I will be showing. But for the basic setup, which is customizable domain here, it's part of the starter and scale plans. By default, you have the profile ID here. So keep that in mind. So since this application here has a custom domain setup, you can see some settings here that this is basically saying that my custom domain is active and it's set up properly. And here is my domain, like US run, because I'm testing the multiple regions feature that we have now. So if you're unaware, and like David mentioned, follow our newsletter or other communication channels, but we have released the TagoIO servers in Europe recently. So I was testing the domain for a application located in the US. So it seemed proper for me to just name it US run, right? So this is my main application here for development. In this case, this is a custom domain setup. It's fairly simple. You just basically input these settings here, your domain and the subdomain that you want it to be located. And then you go to your domain registry and set it up. These settings that you can see on the right part of the screen. If you want to set up a custom domain add-on and you have questions and the documentation is not clear enough, you can let us know through the support channels, but it should be fairly simple if you want to set it up as well. It takes some time, so I cannot demonstrate it here. I would like to do it live at one point, but it takes like a couple of minutes or hours even for the changes in DNS to propagate. So it's not really webinar friendly part of a presentation. But basically here we have a showcase of how a custom domain looks, and here we have it available in our browser. For most part of the run settings, you will be looking to customize the theme, because this means a lot for branding and recognition for your application. If your brand has colors, you know that you will be needing this as soon as possible again, because by default, the colors are a dark blue tone, but it won't fit your application in your dashboard colors. So you can customize basically everything. So you can customize the sign up and sign in pages, and you can customize the sidebar panel for this navigation. It's not only a list of dashboards like here. You can have these buttons. I will show you how to do it as well. But you can also customize the general appearance of the application. So if I want all of my pages to be in black, I can just change it here. So everything's black now. Now the header doesn't match, right? So maybe I put a little grayish here just to be different. I will not be saving this right now, but you get the point, right? So you can change the colors, and if you want to reset, you can just click the reset and it goes back to the default. But you can make any of the changes that you want. And also you can change colors of general elements like buttons and other links, informational icons, this error message color. I haven't customized everything here. I mostly changed the accent colors. It's basically like a blue like this one, the default, but I changed it to this color. And basically I can just do something like this, right? It's very easy to copy and paste the colors, because you can just, okay, I set up on here on the links, then I change it here. I like to show quick tips in these webinars. So I will be showing you one tip that I really like, which is you can, let's say you have the links color and you want this one, but for the accent on the drop down, you want it to be like just a little bit darker. You can use the interface here, but if you want like more precision, you can use this to change the type of the color. And this L here in HSL means luminosity, basically. So you can just change it to be like darker. So let's say 29 here, or I can change it to be lighter, right? So it's a cool trick to make color customization very easy. So you can just change it. But again, you can just do it through clicks here. You can just drag the color picker there, and then you have it. So basically, color setup is fairly simple, fairly intuitive. So you can just set it up. And if you find something's missing, again, you can let us know through the community or support channels, because we aim to offer the most customization possible for you to be able to have an application that fits your use case and also fit your brand and everything else, okay? So moving on, we have a couple of more settings to cover before I start doing some configuration changes here. Because I want to show you a couple of features that, like David mentioned, the dictionary, people are either unaware, because sometimes you see the dictionary and you want to set it up, and then you see that it's available. Multiple languages is only available on scale, but that doesn't mean that the dictionary feature isn't available. That means that multiple languages are available in the scale plan, but you can still set it up because it streamlines the process when you want to integrate different languages, and I will be showing you that. So I will be speeding through a little bit because I just looked at the time, but pay attention to these tabs here. Most of them are settings, and you can set up the custom sign-up fields. So if you want users to be able to register in your application, and you want them to be, I don't know, let's say that you want them to put their company name. So you can put like company here, and you can put company, and then it's a text input, and it's showing here, right? So now when signing up, users in this application will put their company, and you can mark this field as required as well. So they have to input this. And another cool thing that we have here is that the inputs that have this icon here are dictionary enabled features. So every input field that you see this icon here, it's an interactive icon as well. It's a button, but I can use this to just grab a dictionary string here, like this one. So I want this text here to be showing you with demo miles. I will be showing this in a couple of seconds. So for now, I will just say company. So if I do it like this with static text, once I want to enable multiple languages in my application, I will need to do this again. I will need to set it up and change everything here. But if you're developing your application and you're starting with one language, it's still very useful to start with a dictionary from the get-go. It doesn't take that long to understand how to use it. I will show you and you will understand. It's very simple. So let's say that you have a dictionary like this one. I have created it by just going in this account menu here, and then I went to dictionaries, and then I create a dictionary here, and I add a first language. So let's say that my dictionary here, application dictionary. So it builds in a slug. The slug is what you'll be using to access these strings that you have there. So in my case, I will be showing you the demo dictionary, but pay attention to this, because once I create this dictionary, I will not be creating this because I have set it up to speed up, but you just need to name it, and then you customize the slug. And the slug, how you use it, it's basically, so my dictionary slug is demo, so I can access it here, and I can select one of the strings that are present in that dictionary. So if I show you the dictionary that I have built before this presentation, you can see that its name is demo, the slug, and I have these keys for the dictionary. Once I use it like this here, let's say that I want to use it demo and meters here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm using demo and meters. What this means is that I'm accessing this key here. So if the user is accessing the English language in their setup, they will be seeing this text here. And if I add a new language, let's say like Portuguese, and then you just add a language, you will have this. So I will have to type it, everything here. So that will take a while, but I can just set it up like this really quick, or I can just export the dictionary and it's downloaded as a file. So if I do this, I have a file here that you can send to a translator and then import it back again for your new languages. It's fairly easy to set up, even using AI or something like machine translation to customize your dictionaries. But once you set a dictionary up, let's pretend that I don't have the Portuguese language right now. So once you set it up, you have these custom keys that you can use throughout the entire application. And like I mentioned, you can set up like your custom fields like this to have a dictionary key like this one, like demo meters, so that I'm accessing that dictionary and I'm using this key here. So in English, it will say meters. In Portuguese, it will say metros. So it's just different things that you can use throughout your application, okay? Also for the sign up, you can set up confirmation and so on. The sign-in is fairly similar. You can customize the text and you can add links. So if your user wants to see like a link here, if you need them to read something. And we also have on the sign-up page the new agreements feature. I will be showing you how this works because it's fairly easy. So I will be setting up not a document. So I will show you how like my agreements, and I will be trying to get the terms of service for Tago. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's this. Yeah, sure. So if I want to add an agreement, so my users have to accept the agreement to use the application, I will be giving a name to this agreement. I will be putting the link to this document. You can host it on TagoIO files, or you can host it on your own website. And then I accept these terms. Again, pay attention that these fields are customizable with dictionary. So I could have used the dictionary here to just make my application localization friendly. So, but I will be creating this agreement here, and it was created. So now my users, once they access Tago Run, I will be refreshing the page here. I was logged out. I think my session expired. It was open for a while. Okay, so I signed in, and then I can see the agreements here, and I can read the documents and accept these terms. And once I accept it, it will be registered in admin, so you can see that your users have agreed to the terms of use of your platform. It's a really cool feature if you're looking for compliance. So I can show you how this looks here on admin. So you can see like my user here. I have this agreements tab, and I can see that they have accepted it and using this agent, and the date and the IP address here is located as well. So you can see that I have accepted these terms, and you have information to make sure that the user, if they say, okay, I didn't agree, and then you have it's logged that they have indeed accepted your terms. So for security, we have a couple of features that are very interesting, but mainly I would highlight the ease of use to set up 2FA. So basically you just click these buttons in here and your users will be able to set up two-factor authentication. So that will make your application more secure very easily. It's just basically enable the methods that you want. And if you want to enforce it, this is fairly new. I think this feature to enforce has been released in the past 3 months or so. So if you're not aware of it, you can enforce your users to set up 2FA. So if you do this, if your user did not set up 2FA, once they're signing in, they will be prompted to set it up. So that will make your application more secure for your users, because, well, password alone isn't enough anymore at this day and age. So it's very easy to set up 2FA, and we made it easy for you to make sure that your users feel secure using your application. Also, you have controls for password strength and CAPTCHA to avoid multiple signups if you make it available. And you can do other setup here, basically for automation, right? And you can control also how long the session lasts. This is why, yeah. So I haven't been logged in for a while. I just forgot that I had set up my session to expire in 1 hour. This is what applications mostly look nowadays. You set up a quick expiring session, so users have to sign in again, right? But in my case, this was unfortunate because I did forget about it. So I had just had to sign in again. But again, like I mentioned, this makes my application a little bit more secure, because if I forget my laptop or it gets stolen, my session will be invalidated, right? And for custom settings, I have showcased this, and Vitor has showcased this in other presentations we have available in the trainings as well. But basically, with this feature, you can customize widgets to do unit conversions in general. Like I have conversions for temperature units, and it's fairly easy to set it up. If you read our documentation, we have examples for that as well. And for the multi-language feature, basically, it's just this. You just click here and you create a new run dictionary. I have created it before. And if you want to customize your run dictionary, like I mentioned, I was using a different dictionary here because I separate my dictionaries for the dictionary that I use on widgets and so on. But I have this entire dictionary that was generated by the platform. By default, it generates in 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. And all you have to do is click here and generate a new run dictionary and just choose it and save. Once you do this, your application will be set up for the entire interface to use a dictionary that has 4 languages built in. And if you want to add a new language, like I mentioned, let's say you want to add like another language like German. So you can just export dictionary, translate it as CSV, for example, then send to a translator, and then you can get the CSV back and import the CSV in German, and then you just add German here. So you can add German here and then just import. And this will make your application available in this language as well. And by that, I mean your users, when accessing Run, they will be able to access this My Account setting here, and they will be able to select German here. Again, I cannot set it up right now, but it's because it's a lot of strings, but you can do this. It's very simple to use. And for the sidebar, I will be demoing something that some people don't know, but it's fairly simple. I want to, for my sidebar here, which right now, let's just go back here. So let's close some tabs, right? So the dictionary is fairly simple. I have explained everything that you need to know. If you do have questions, let me know. And my freezer temperature chart here, it has a static text. So I will be changing the title of these widgets to demo, and I have set up here the title in this key. And I also want to change the legends, which is located down below here, to have an alias and see that there's the dictionary button here, and then I can choose demo, and then I can select this temperature legend here. After I did set this up, I will just save it. And once I access this dashboard, well, my interface is okay. Am I freezing? I think my presentation froze again, David.
I can see you changing screens.
Yeah. So if you see this on admin, you can see that it's using the English language because admin is fully in English. But if you remember it from a second ago, I just changed it by title of the widget to be this, which is a dictionary string. And on run, since this user is accessing it in English, it's in English here. So if I change the language, I just have to set up the translation, which is fairly simple to do. You just have to add the key value pairs in the dictionary, and then you have your application ready to go. And that's why I mentioned that it's easier if you set up your entire application from the start to use dictionary, because then you can just add languages. And if you're only using English, you can just use English, or if you're using Spanish, you can just use Spanish. But once you want to add a new language, it's better if you have everything set up like this. Otherwise, you will have to change each widget one by one, and that takes some time. So that's why most of our applications are developed with this in mind. And for the sidebar buttons, I will be adding a freezer button here. So you can just access the freezer sim. Let's see if we have a freezer, ice, I'm not sure. I'm going to put the peace sign here and put like a light blue color. And this button will open the dashboard freezer thing. So this is very simple. This is basically, you have control of the platform. So if the button is not supposed to show on the mobile app, you can just select desktop here. You can select different visibility conditions. So if you want to show a button just for regular users, like I mentioned, oh, I'm sorry, this is type.
I think your screen froze a little bit there.
Okay, yeah, I will be.
But everything refreshing it. Yeah, everything Claus is talking about. So in the chat, I put a place for a demo. And at the end of the presentation, I'll show you a few things on the website. But everything Claus is shown today is covered in our Learning Center, which I'll show you. You can ask for a demo. We can go into it in detail and things like that. But I think what Claus shown today is 95% of how powerful Tago Run is.
So what I was showing here, which before my screen froze, was I added a sidebar button. So you can see on the preview here that I have the freezer simulator. So my users, I don't want my users to see a bunch of dashboards in this list. I just want them to see the button here so they can click it. So in my case, I put this icon here. I can change colors. I can change it to even open an iframe if you want to put something that is external to TagoIO. Instead of the dashboard, you can show an iframe. When you select iframe, this will customize this part here where the dashboard is located to show a different page. And again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of customization. I think we have covered a lot. You can also customize the account menu. In my case, I can show you that it's fully customized. So I have the My Account button is built in, but I have separate buttons. One for them is just text. So if I want to show my users which version of the application they're seeing, I can set up a custom menu entry here. Let's say that it has version here, and I can change it once I deploy a new version. So my users are aware that the version has been updated, or if they are contacting me for support and they say, hey, I'm on version 2.0, I found a bug, and then you fix it, and then you change the version there, and they can see it, and then you could put change logs and terms and so on. There's a lot of customization that you have. For mobile features, we have some specific things for setting up Wi-Fi devices. This is mostly for system integrators. Like if you say you have a smart light bulb, you can do something similar where you have a device that you use your app to activate it. Like David mentioned, you can also customize different email templates. Like when the user signs up, they will receive this email and you can customize it to say anything that you want here. And you, again, as David mentioned, we have features for tracking analytics on Google. If you track analytics for your website, you probably have a tracking idea already. Then you can just create a different one or use the same one. And then you'll be able to see which dashboards your users are accessing, how much time they spent on each dashboard. So you can make sure your teams are aware of where to focus their efforts. And you can also integrate with Soho Sales IQ if you're familiar with it. And lastly, you can set up single sign-on. If you have like your identity provider set up like as Okta or Auth0 or something that's centralized, basically, so your users just sign in on Google and they will have access to your application. You can set up here. So once your user signed in, once your user is not signed in, they will see a button to sign in with SSO. And once they click it, if they're already authenticated with your servers, they will just be authenticated with your application as well. So you have a single point of truth for the identities, which is really important for larger organizations, or if you're just aiming for even more security. So that's it for me today, guys. If you have questions, I will be looking at the chat right now. I will be closing my screen and hopefully I can get back to the camera once again, but it's seems to be freezing a lot today.
Thank you, Klaus.
But thanks, guys.
So I see Kingsley asked about a recorded version. Yes, we record all our webinars. They're available on our site, but we're going to send an email to everybody that attended, and we'll have a link to the recorded version there. But in closing, you've learned a lot about Tago Run. But as I said at the beginning of the webinar, Tago is very vast in its customization and features, right? There's a ton of stuff you could learn. So right here on our main page, I put the link to ask for a demo, but you could just come to our main page, request a demo. You could have a free account forever. You only get like 5 devices and 5 dashboards, but you can certainly do that. But 2 very important things here is we have dashboard templates. So if you don't want to build a dashboard from scratch, you could download any one of these templates into your profile. And once you download them, you own them. You could edit them, change widgets, change colors, and things like that. So these are very powerful. They're extremely popular as well. One thing I would like to show too is when I'm talking about beautification of your dashboard, which in turn is what your end users, you're going to associate with Tago Run and your end users are going to see, you'll notice this here. These are actually individual widgets, right? But with our Framer options within the widget, when you edit the widget, you could use Framer. You could have rounded corners. There's lots of things you could do. But just to give people an idea that your dashboard can look really, really cool. Just from a basic dashboard, you can get much more advanced from that. But these templates are free. And then we also have the Learning Center. This is an excellent free resource. I highly, highly, highly recommend people take advantage of the Learning Center to start to understand what they can do on Tago. As I said, it's free. The 100 modules are more of the fundamentals, if you will. And the 200 modules are more advanced. So the point that I'm making here is that there's a lot of resources for you, right? So, and they're all free. So you can come here and say, I want to see your how-to videos, how to publish your own connector. You can do that as well. Getting dashboard templates, so on and so forth. There's a lot of stuff here. And I would also refer back to our webinars. We do a lot of technical webinars, but I would refer back to our webinars. Just go ahead and look through the website. There's a lot of things here that can really get you started and get you inspired, right, to really start building on Tago. So I think that's great for today. Again, I hope to speak to each and every one of you. If you're already a customer, take advantage of your onboarding session, and please reach out to your CSM or respond to them because they can help you tremendously. So with that, thank you, everybody. Look for our next webinar. As I said, I'll be at ProMat in Chicago on March 17th to the 20th. If you're going to be there, come by our booth and say hi. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.